assured that will be addressed. This is Camnet Television Main News. Hello and welcome. To present, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Our top stories in the news tonight. 25 members of the New Apostolic Church die in a road traffic accident. Lusaka woman arrested for swindling job seekers. Cotton farmers complain over the fall in cotton prices. In international news, thousands flee Somalia flooding after months of deadly drought. And in sports news, Manchester United beat Wolves to strengthen top 4 place.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain-Glo, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello again, the news in detail. Some residents of Kashima East in the Mufumbo district have bemoaned the lack of development in the area, citing among them lack of secondary schools. Speaking to the media in Kashima East at Kamazovu, Glandwe Kisunka, who is Parents Teachers Association chairperson, says from 1964, Kashima East has no secondary school. Mr. Kisunka says the government increased the CDF from 1.6 to 28.3 million kwacha, which is a game changer for rural communities, but the case for them is different. Mr. Kisunka adds that they were given a secondary school in 2022 under CDF, but there has been no work going on. And Kashima East Ward Councillor Solochi Gibson says they were promised to be given a school, but the process seems to be slow, not knowing what the course is. Councillor Solochi adds that Kashima has got crossing points which are almost impassable.
Truly my people have spoken. Even me being as the leader of this ward, for sure we are suffering. We are lagging behind. We are not moving together with the government according to its planning. For sure, here we don't have power. We don't have a secondary school. We don't have proper clinics. So now, according to what people have said, I'm sure we are now appealing from government to give us power. These institutions, these schools should have power. And also, a secondary school that we applied for, we need quickly intervention, quick response, so that people have confidence. Because now people are lacking confidence. For sure, we don't have maternity annex in this ward. We need good, proper maternity annex where our women will be delivering without problems.
25 members of the New Apostolic Church in Chongwe district have died after a Mitsubishi Rosa bus they were traveling in hit into a Freightliner truck at Kapiringozi area along Chirundu Kafiwe Road. 25 out of the 37 passengers on the Rosa bus died on the spot, while 12 others, among them a 6-month-old baby, and the driver of the bus escaped with serious injuries. The driver of the Freightliner truck escaped unhurt. Zambia Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale confirmed the development to Camnet News.
24 people believed to be members of the new Apostolic Church in Chongwe district have died, while 12 survived with serious injuries after a Mitsubishi Rosa bus they were traveling in hit into the Freightliner truck at Kapiringozi area along Chirundu Kafiwe Road. The deceased have only been identified as 23 female adults and 1 male adult, while those injured are 8 females and 4 females. The driver of the bus is among the injured victims. Police preliminary investigations indicate that the Rosa bus, bearing registration number BAL 9480, with 35 passengers on board, hit behind the Freightliner truck and trailer bearing registration number AGB 1988 and AEG 2942 respectively. Both vehicles were moving in the same direction towards Chirundu district. Investigations revealed that the church members were traveling from Manyika area in Chongwe district going for church service in Siavonga district. The Mitsubishi bus is extensively damaged, while the Freightliner truck had its rear bumper damaged.
A 42-year-old woman of Lusaka's Kanyama compound has been detained for swindling over 30 job seekers in different parts of the country. Memory Hangomba Mambo was detained Saturday morning when the scammed victims reported her to the police. Meanwhile, Miss Mambo, who collected money from her victims on the pretext that she will help them secure a job at Zambia Sugar, has admitted to committing the act. More in this report.
In order to survive with this harsh economy, some individuals have resorted to swindling people by collecting money on the pretext that they will secure them a job. Memory Hangoma Mambo, 42, had turned herself into a full-time professional scammer and swindled over 30 people from Lusaka, Mazabuka and Central Province. She lied to her victim of being a human resource officer at Zambia Sugar and promised to secure them a job. All her victims were paying 500 kwacha. Kasamba Michelo from Kapirimposhi is among other victims. The young lady who had traveled all the way from her province has been left heartbroken and stranded after learning that she has been scammed.
Vanipase ndrama yanga 500 kwacha na transport yanga yamenenezo sevenzesa kubwela kuno kuchoka ku Central Province sipafupi. Anje nifuna chape ndrama yanga nibwelele kuli bamami banga na badadi banga. Bafana wa mami ndiye boyfriend wao ndiye amena ananiuza kuli HR wa ku Zambia Sugar angenesa nchito ndiye pe ninafika kuno.
Chimuzimayi chakachenzo kamba kuti nemba nchito bazambia Sugar anatuma kuti nemba nchito. So kalemba application letter ufaka na 500 mukati kuti bakuitane kuja kunchito. Chimuzimayi chinichovuta chenzongera door to door. Ichapa door to door kuamba kamba kuti nifuna banchito banituma so nifuna makamaka batonga kali president watu anabwera afuna batonga ndine bluwa HH. So mwemena anabwelera ine kubwela ine na lembe sana muna banga na mfana wanga 15 pamosi kanzi vintu nivaboza.
During the interview, some of the victims could not control their frustration. She was once arrested on similar allegations and released on police bond. However, it seems it has been hard for her to change as she has continued to scam people. Memory Mambo has admitted committing the act.
So bamene banasala balicha before amene niziba ine ni 4 chabe ni 4 pamozi nikamba amene banasala amene bali kali botenga ndirama kumanja pamozi bali 4 yani bamene ba hafu aba ndiye aenda kuti banasala 950 bena benangu bazao nasala 950 beni benangu kunasala 4 chani 490 beni aba mene niziba kuli baja bandani be munabera mazo kuli bandani baja ni 200 kwacha nikamba sorry madam nalakwa
Not only did this 42-year-old mother of two collect over 40,000 kwacha from her victims, but she allegedly started having an affair with one of her victims' husband. She is alleged to have abandoned a sick husband in Mazapuka district, Southern Province.
Mazimaye banzanga bamuna banga bananisiya mwenze mu 24 January banaenda na bamayi basikama aba kwenda abamayi bamuna banga yote mwenze libendera mtinachoka kufamu so yate bamuna banga banano tu bamuna banga bali stranded nde banatengira grafio ndra grafio na peleka bamuna banga kufamu koko aba no enda pasa ndrama no ko chitabwa kuti faka pambale ine kuti ukwatire ne ndrama nzamba chitabwa nzamba chita providers because ne chani ina ndrama.
And concerned citizens for justice and human rights have expressed disappointment with the attitude portrayed.
Our surprise is that despite being on police bond, she has continued the same illegal activities, getting money from the community members, purporting to say she's employing people under Zambia Sugar. I think it's a wake-up call to the general public that they should not pay people, individuals.
By broadcast time, 42-year-old Mambo was detained at Kanyama police station. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Residents of Lusaka Central Constituency in Chalala area have appealed to the local leadership to help enhance security and get rid of illegal structures that are harboring criminals. This came to light after Lusaka Central Member of Parliament Mambo inspected road projects in Chalala and donated assorted items to 3 households and wheelchairs to 2 children living with disabilities. And Mr. Haimbe assured the residents that their concerns will be addressed. Here's a report.
Lusaka Central Member of Parliament Mambo Haimbe, Saturday, 13th May 2023, inspected road projects in Chalala area and interacted with the residents on a number of issues affecting them. He inspected the newly constructed road which has brought excitement to the residents who expressed happiness that the road will ease their movements.
We actually feel that this road will last a very long time, and we just hope that from here they could also do the drainage system alongside, because it drains a lot here, so that we could have a parallel through which the water can go and should not sit on the road. I think given that, we actually think it would last long for us and it will not be damaged as quickly as we've seen the other roads.
Rainy season, it used to be very impassable and bumpy, and especially for those of us that like to take walks, we're not able to walk because we'll be scared of running shoes getting finished every now and then. So this is very good. It has changed the face of the neighborhood. It's easier to move and we get to the main road faster than we used to.
Officers of the Ministry of Local Government, in view of the submissions that were made to us by the general electorate, the people that live here. If you look around, you'll see that there are huge boulders on the side of this newly constructed road. For the first time in several decades, the people that live here have been given a road and bituminous standard, a tarmac road. And they have been crying for a very long time that despite paying rates, despite being members of the larger community, they have not had such a facility. They were driving through rocks and very difficult terrain.
And the residents raised concern over the security situation in the area as police officers are yet to be deployed at the police station that was constructed by members of the general public.
Councillor and our MP, I think this is a chance for us to cry out. Can we please get rid of these illegal tuntembas, illegal ramshackles, so much beer brewing that's going on right now? If you go around even just at midnight or 1 a.m., you would be shocked what's happening in this place. It is so bad. Literally, we are not safe. The next thing we hear is our daughters and us wives being raped in these homes.
And in response, the minister said the police was not constructed in line with the recommended standards and guidelines. Hence, the police officers could not be deployed, but assured to address the matter.
Is that there is slowness in the procurement processes at Lusaka City Council. And we've been pushing to ensure that they improve on the way they allocate contracts for this work to be done. So we, again, as together, collectively, have done our part through the CDF and this police post will be brought up to spec.
And Mr. Aimbe, who is also Minister of Justice, donated assorted foodstuffs to 3 households and wheelchairs to 2 children with disabilities.
A little that we can. So we came together. How can we help? As you can see, number 1 church to embrace my wheelchair.
And the beneficiaries expressed gratitude for the gesture. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
The opposition leadership movement has challenged Health Minister Sylvia Masebo to admit her failure in running the affairs of the ministry rather than accuse hard-working health personnel. Addressing the media, Party Deputy Secretary General Chalwe Chandalala charges that allegations made by Ms. Masebo toward health workers stealing drugs from health facilities reflect her incompetence. He has called on the health minister to go back to the basics and ensure that she does the right thing in regard to the procurement of medicines and medical supplies, as the situation in health facilities is getting worse. More in this report.
The opposition leadership movement party has observed that the health minister, Sylvia Masebo, has failed because of the reported shortages of medicine in the health facilities. Reacting to a recent statement made by the health minister, alleging that health workers were stealing drugs, the opposition party says the statement is uncalled for.
So then you're holding on to the driving seat. What are you doing as a government? What can Madam Masebo point to today to say, one still appointed by HH, I've done this in the health sector, I've brought improvement, put the issue so nothing. She can't point at any to say, since I was appointed as the Minister of Health, I've done this in the health sector. She cannot point at any tangible programs she has done so far in the health sector, apart from shrinking the health sector in our country. We do not want that, and we challenge the new government. The earlier the better. The earlier they admit to say the health sector is shrinking, I think the better, so that...
The party has further accused the ruling United Party for National Development of failing to govern the country.
And also, we want to urge the UPND government or the UPND internship to man up and start following up on their promises so that the people can have more interest in participating in elections, in by-elections and also in elections generally, because the major reason for voter apathy is because people have lost confidence in the doings of the UPND. They have seen that this political party promised them a lot, but then they haven't, delivered as they promised. So they no longer see a reason to vote anymore. We want to urge them that come 2026, the leadership movement party is coming.
Despite receiving criticism from the opposition, the United Party for National Development believes it is on firm ground in addressing issues affecting the country as well as citizens.
To give Zambia a breathing space so that we attend to more need areas of the economy and serve our people better. Yes. Amen. That is what we want to do as a country. Without this cancellation...
Miriam Kaimba reporting for Camnet TV News.
As government actors continue to push the United Party for National Development to resolve the issues of drug shortages, government has assured that once the procurement system is fine-tuned, the problem will be completely dealt with. National Democratic Congress President Saboy Imboela has charged that government has failed to address the drug problem due to what she termed as micromanagement by President Hakainde Hichilema. But Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Thabo Kawana has told Camnet News that the government is on top of things and that the problem will soon be a thing of the past. Details in this report.
The issue of inadequate access to medicines in the health facilities has been topical in successive administrations, and ever since the United Party for National Development ascended to power, this is a problem that continues to seek remedies. People in low-income areas such as Kanyama have been raising concerns that most health centers are just giving prescriptions to patients.
Paikireko nzeru pano na mankwala niyo shotera tipesika na patients but vili vonse tigula so tipempa kwa government atsanganireko.
There has been criticism from opposition political parties and counter-reactions by the government officials. And National Democratic Congress leader Savoy Imbwela is among recent opposition leaders to accuse the government of failing to find a lasting solution to the issue of drug shortages and opt to blame health practitioners for alleged pilferage of medicines.
So we saw that it was a one-man show. No wonder right now one of the biggest problems we have in the country is that the president is a one-man show. You know, he's a one-man show. He has to do almost everything himself. So next thing is at Ministry of Health, and I think last time he even went to work at Ministry of Health. 2 days. You know, he was there. And he assured us that the problem had been resolved.
Correct.
Many months later, the problem is still there at the Ministry of Health. Why? Because the problem was not resolved. And the medicines have not been bought.
But Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tabo Kawana, Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo, is on firm grounds for calling on some health practitioners to stop stealing medicines, saying it is among the reasons the country is experiencing drug shortages, as he assured that the problem is being addressed.
Either way, you see that in terms of the health system, unless you want to politic, I think we have gotten to a place where we can say we are a bit comfortable now. Now, I just want to reiterate the minister's call to health workers that they must desist this conduct or tendency of pilfering drugs, because what we have seen in most institutions is that there are drug stores right within the confines of the institution or slightly outside, and these seem to stock drugs which primarily were to be in the hospitals but are missing from the hospitals and are finding themselves in these private drug stores and up for sale. However, government is in the process of procuring a proper system in terms of tracking medication, and we can assure the nation that very soon this issue of pilferage of drugs will also be a thing of the past. But what?
Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
A newly formed political party has challenged opposition political parties in the country to stop dragging law enforcement agencies into political matters. Development Freedom Party President Brian Mutale says law enforcement agencies such as the Zambia Police, the Drug Enforcement Commission and the Anti-Corruption Commission do not associate themselves in political matters, hence it is uncalled for to have opposition leaders to drag them into politics. Mr. Mutale has pledged his party's effort to offer quality and balanced criticism to the current administration.
In terms of Zambia Police, ZNS, Zambia Army, Zambia Air Force, this institution, they don't know politics. Let's move politics in this institution. This institution, they doesn't know even not even 1% of politics. Allow this institution to work according what they can work. In terms of Home Affairs, we just have one Minister of Home Affairs. We don't have another Home Affairs Minister. These politicians start talking about the Home Affairs Minister or whatever. Allow these people to work. Then we can see how the best we can help this country. It's not every time you talk about UPND. It's not every time you talk about PFA. It's not every time you talk about... Let's talk about what we can help the Zambian people. Not every day, oh, but cheat. But I'm challenging more especially as politicians. Let's remove the voice of talking about ZNS, Zambia Army, ZAF, Zambia Police. This institution has nothing to do with politics. Thank you.
The National Democratic Congress Party says the works done by the United Party for National Development Administration in just a short period of time should be appreciated by everyone. Addressing party officials on the Copperbelt Saturday afternoon, NDC leader George Sichula says the NDC will continue to respect the People's Alliance that it shares with the ruling party. Meanwhile, Mr. Sichula has disclosed that immediately after the court case next month, NDC intends to hold a party congress where it will be electing its president.
so that we may begin to grow as a party. We need to put our tools of war down and begin to reunite and begin to preach peace and love amongst ourselves so that we may begin to grow as a party. As a party president, let me take this opportunity to ask for forgiveness from all our supporters countrywide who lost confidence in the party as a result of infants. This syndrome remains in the past now. We need to embrace each other. Of course, we have learned about our weaknesses and our strengths as a party, what pulls us down, what discourages us from working together. Now our eyes are open. Yes. We need to start moving together as one. Yes. So it is now time to move together.
This is Camnet Television Main News. Join us for more news stories after the break.
In our quest to save nations and develop Africa, Savannah is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savannah Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savannah Farms.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Chikondi Foundation President Bishop John Mambo has advised the police to communicate to the public when it comes to issues affecting the former head of state to avoid speculations. Bishop John Mambo is disappointed with the manner in which the police handled the issue of officers providing security to former President Edgar Lungu. He has also wondered why the police allowed 20 security officers to be guarding Mr. Lungu if he is only entitled to 3. Bishop Mambo tells Camnet News in an interview that it was wrong for the police to react after they themselves had sent those officers to the former president's residence when they knew exactly the number that should be at the residence. Here's a report.
Once head of state, always head of state. He has to be protected. Whatever happens, it will be taxpayers' money. Now he also gets a salary. Having seen all presidents from Kaunda and knowing their residents, go to former President Banda, may so rest in peace. How many police officers are there? President Sata. Mwanawasa. Even Madame Maureen, she's not even guarded at the moment. All of them. In fact, the moment you leave presidency, you are the most lonely person. Because right now, all these people are claiming HH, what and so forth. It will only be relatives and those who know him well. And genuine friends. They'll follow you if they still Kasaga, Kandarama. After that, that's the nature of us, the African people. Now let me go to the subject that we're discussing. It was wrong for the police to react after action was taken. There are so many police officers at the President Lungu's residence. They knew what is the number that should guard the former head of state. And they left them out there. Hence the PF took advantage and camped their cadres, started cooking there because the others have no food like home like me. So it was time to eat.
Community Action Against Corruption has called upon government to consider scrapping off the provision of the nolle prosequi from the judicial system in Zambia. Organization Chief Executive Officer Brighton Tembo says this provision has been used by the law enforcement agencies in collaboration with the judiciary to abuse the rights of innocent citizens through arbitrary detentions. He stresses that many citizens have been detained in remand prisons for no serious reasons, apart from those that seem to be like politically motivated detentions. He regrets that people released from detention by the courts of law under a nolle prosequi do not retain their total freedom because they can be rearrested on trumped-up charges in future based on the same case, and these people cannot even sue to the state for wrongful detention and win the case.
We should consider the merits and demerits of having the nolle prosequi in the judicial provisions of Zambia. You know that provision has been used for a long period of time now to abuse the rights of innocent citizens through detentions. President Hakainde Hichilema, then opposition leader, he was detained for 127 days without real reasons for that detention, just to be released when the state entered the nolle prosequi. Then Madame Mumbipili is the latest victim of wrongful detention by the state, just to be released after the state entered the nolle prosequi. This means that this provision grants impunity to the authorities to detain innocent citizens without reasons for detention. And the state, definitely, they know that we can detain this person and release him as we wish through entering a nolle prosequi. So this provision is a provision which is used to abuse the rights of citizens. So we feel it should be removed from the judicial process. It is very unnecessary and it's a tool for abuse of citizens' rights.
Cotton farmers have been hit hard following the drop in the commodity prices from 15 kwacha last year to 6 kwacha this year. Cotton prices last season were pegged at 15 kwacha per kilogram, but this season Ginas are offering low prices at 6 kwacha per kilogram. Cotton Association of Zambia Executive Director John Ngwenyama says the dramatic fall of prices of cotton will cause serious pain in the sector. Mr. Ngwenyama explains that despite a general fall in prices of cotton on the international market, the Zambian situation needs attention. He stated that following the international market pricing system, this year's cotton prices were supposed to be between 9 kwacha 15 ngwe to 10 kwacha 15 ngwe. He said in Malawi, cotton is fetching around 508 Malawian kwacha, which translates to 9 kwacha 80 ngwe Zambian kwacha. He wondered how different the scenario is in Malawi to Zambia, as the two neighboring countries share similar economic hardships. Mr. Ngwenyama said the cotton futures market was bright, hence the need for buyers to offer good prices as opposed to taking advantage of farmers.
We know that the price for the last season was at 15 kwacha per kg, which has dropped to 6 kwacha per kg. And we, as a farmer representative, we are not accepting this, because in as much as we understand on the international market that the prices has dropped, but it cannot drop to 6 kwacha because the indicative international prices that we have, they are around 9 kwacha, 80, 10 kwacha, 50 ngwe per kg, which Guineans can still realize the profits. Now we take, for instance, our neighboring country, Malawi, which is at 580 Malawian kwacha per kg, which interprets 9 kwacha 80 ngwe Zambian kwacha. Now Zambia and Malawi, we share common economical challenges, so it is not giving any reason as to why Zambian farmers can be exploited in this way. It is in view of this affirmation that we are appealing to the Guineans, we are appealing to the government to intervene into this matter so that our farmers can be at least offered a fair price, which will be very attractive in order for them to do more in the next farming season. Because the agenda that we have now in the cotton sector is to revive the cotton sector, and in this way it cannot really motivate the farmer to continue into the cotton production.
Residents of Chitambo district witnessed the handover of 3 projects under the Constituency Development Fund, which include 9 bicycles, 141 desks and 9 checks to women and youth groups, all valued at approximately 900,000 kwacha. Speaking during the handover, Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua said President Hakainde Hichilema is elated with the speedy implementation of projects by the local authority, resonating well with the aspiration of the New Dawn administration. He disclosed that over 32 projects at various levels of implementation in the district are taking shape and has assured the residents that he will not tire visiting the district to officially hand over these projects. Mr. Nanjua said he has taken note of the cries of the people for a clinic and that the contractor for this critical project has been identified and will be delivered in a couple of months. The minister also handed over a 1x2 classroom block and desks at Chalilo Primary School, Ikunko Primary School in Katonga Ward, courtesy of the 2022 CDF.
Just to support your work, sir.
Just to appreciate what you are doing in your district,
how
you are administering government resources. That is our role. I want to say something. The other time I came here, you didn't see me. We had a meeting there. A campaign meeting. Before I became a minister. I was here. And we made a promise that when we form government, we are going to build a school. Do you remember that? You see? Yeah, don't forget. Now we have brought the school, isn't it? And that's why I have come, because this property as a community, don't vandalize it, so that we build another one. All children from here, grade 1 up to 7, they are supposed to be coming at this school. Later on in the future, we should be thinking of also putting more infrastructure so that even grade 8, grade 9 is supposed to be here.
We'll take our second and final break. Join us for international sports news after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
immediate coverage of any breaking or latest news in Zambia and around the world on Camnet television, call the numbers on your screen. Camnet television, bringing to your screens fair news, impartial news, credible and reliable news all the time. Get the whole truth on Camnet World News. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
And now in international news, Amnesty International has welcomed a UN report accusing the Malian army and foreign fighters of having executed over 500 people in 2022 during anti-jihadi operations in the Maura region. The figures by the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights amount to the worst atrocity the Sahel country has experienced since the jihadist insurgency flared in 2012. It is also the most damning document yet against Mali's armed forces and their foreign allies. Human rights researcher on the Sahel, Amnesty, Osman Diallo, described the seriousness of the report. Here's a roundup of news beyond our borders.
Thousands of people have been forced to flee their homes in central Somalia after the river Shabelle burst its banks in Beledweyne. Heavy rain has led to flooding in the area, causing damage to towns and villages, and the UN's Humanitarian Response Agency warned of an increase in diseases such as cholera as local infrastructures are affected. We fled from the flash floods that submerged the city like so many others, he says. People ran out of the city to safety. For 4 days, the floods poured massively into the city. Our businesses have been badly affected by the massive flooding in Beledweyne and the movement of people, he says. This has resulted in a reduction in the presence of our customers. It comes as international figures show a record number of internally displaced people worldwide, with natural disasters accounting for 32.6 million such movements last year. Most of the inhabitants of the 4 districts of the town of Beledweyne are displaced because of the flash floods, he says. 90% of the local towns have fled. 10% are still in the town because they have been stranded or they live in the highlands. The flooding comes in sharp contrast to months of drought which has killed tens of thousands of people and wiped out crops and livestock. It's feared the rains could force many families into destitution. Amnesty International has welcomed a UN report accusing the Malian army and foreign fighters of having killed over 500 people in 2022 during anti-jihadi operations in the Maura region. He says we draw the attention of the prosecutor in the International Criminal Court to the Maura incident as documented by the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights, because the Maura incident potentially involves war crimes and crimes against humanity. And right now we're in the 11th year of conflict in Mali, and the Maura incident is the most violent case against civilians since the beginning of this conflict. The OHCHR said it had reason to believe citizens faced execution, rape and other violence in March 2022 with the involvement of foreign forces. That may be the highlight of the report, he says. That is to say, it talks about white men speaking a language that is neither French nor English and foreign military personnel. But we all know that these people are members of the Wagner private military company. And what happened in Maura is symbolic of the joint military operations that took place in central Mali in 2022. Maura in the Mopti region of central Mali has been known as a stronghold of the Katiba Masina, a group affiliated with Al-Qaeda. On March the 27th, 2022, the Malian army took control of the area and rounded up around 3,000 people. The report is based on a 7-month investigation. Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of the Senegalese capital, Dakar, against President Macky Sall's refusal to rule out standing for a third term in office. The demonstrations were organised by a group called the Movement of the Living Forces of Senegal, F24, referring to the scheduled election date of February 24, 2024. We came here to liberate Senegal, she says, to tell Macky Sall that he has to stop his dictatorial path. He only has to release the political prisoners. We are fed up. We don't want him anymore. We tell him enough. He only has to leave our Senegal. We want peace. We don't want problems with anyone. The Senegal F24 group is an umbrella movement made up of more than 170 political and human rights organizations aiming to pressure Sall not to stand for election next year. Senegalese democracy is in a coma, he says. Why is it in a coma? The simplest principle in democracy, the free participation of political actors in elections, is biased. This simple principle is flouted. President Macky Sall systematically blocks the democratic process in our country. Many protesters pledged their support for opposition politician Ousmane Sonko, who was earlier handed a 6-month suspended prison sentence. There will be no elections in this country without the candidate Ousmane Sonko, he says. This is very clear. We do not fool ourselves. We do not fool ourselves. And we will have a defensive posture to impose this candidacy of right, whatever the means. We will not let ourselves be taken advantage of. This country is ours. This country has given us everything. This country has given us everything. We are the youth of this country and we want Ousmane Sonko. It is as simple as that. The opposition has accused Sall's government of using the judicial machinery to target potential challengers. Although it's widely thought that Sall intends to run for election, he has not yet confirmed or denied it.
It's now time for sports news. Manchester United bounced back from consecutive Premier League defeats by beating Wolverhampton Wanderers at Old Trafford to strengthen their bid for a top 4 finish. Erik ten Hag's side had lost to Brighton and West Ham to give Liverpool, who were 1 point behind in 4th at the start of the day, hope of snatching a Champions League spot at their expense. But Anthony Martial opened the scoring in the first half before Alejandro Garnacho added a second in stoppage time to secure a win that moved Manchester United 4 points clear of the Reds with 3 games remaining. With Marcus Rashford out through injury, it looked like being a difficult day in front of goal for the Horse as they missed a number of decent chances, particularly through Anthony. The winger curled an effort just wide after racing into space before sending a header over from close range when unmarked. But Anthony provided the assist for the first half breakthrough when he was played in by Bruno Fernandes, and he unselfishly squared to Martial for the tap-in. However, substitute Garnacho finally got Manchester United's second when he raced through in the 5th minute of stoppage time before firing past Dan Bentley in the Wolves' goal. Manchester United remained 4th but are level on 66 points with Newcastle in 3rd. Wolves, meanwhile, are 13th. To end Camnet television news, the headlines once again. 25 members of the New Apostolic Church die in a road traffic accident. Lusaka woman arrested for swindling job seekers. Cotton farmers complain over the fall in cotton prices. In international news, thousands flee Somalia flooding after months of deadly drought. And in sports news, Manchester United beat Wolves to strengthen top 4 place. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from Psalms 143 verse 10. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. May your good spirit lead me on level ground. Again, thank you for watching Camnet Television Main News. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.